Oh yeah. We got new stuff coming. Hello everyone, this is Bentley. I wanted to go over a couple of the project tanks I'm working on and give kind of a minor update and let you see parts of the fish room. This won't be a full fish room tour. That's coming. I promise. It's coming. But I kind of want to get some of these project tanks a little further in their progress before I do my fish room tour. So hopefully over the next couple of weekends, I can get some decent work done on them. I won't get them in full, and we'll explain why. So the obvious one, running river. Look at that. It's really overgrown, needs a trim. That's this weekend. A little tail, bit of algae left. I've been fighting a little hair algae outbreak, but it's doing pretty good overall. And you guys will really get to see that when the tour comes, just how healthy it's looking. There's probably going to be some change in the fish inside the tank, but I'll explain that later. The tank below it, I've got prepped, and that's going to be using an underground filtration system. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But then you have the tank over there by the angels. You can't see it right now, but we'll have some secondary footage. So we'll start there. So underneath the angels is going to be an aquascape done by brother-in-law James. And you can see the tank is got a substrate in it, but we'll probably add more or less depending on what he wants to do. And he's going to aquascape this specifically to house 3 of the 5 angelfish that are in the tank above it. And the reason why is we have a male-female pair in there that have tried to spawn several times, and just because of trying to defend the other angelfish and the Wabamooster plecos that are in there and all that kind of stuff, no success. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a nice aquascape, make it for the angels and the plecos. So it'll be kind of half aquascaped, half actual pleco caves in it. I think we can make it look cool. It's just a little bit of work and kind of figuring the balance out. Now, here's where I'm going to cut you back to me for a sec. You want to see something that he's picked out? I have this cache of hardscape lying around for whenever I do new tanks or whatever. And I just want to show you the main stone he picked out, because for a while I forgot I had this thing. It's not light. Look at that thing. Huh? This behemoth. And I'm not sure how he wants to arrange it. Whether it's going to be kind of piled up so it looks kind of like this, or whether he's going to stand it straight or whatever. But this monster is the main stone for that aquascape. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Ooh, I got to be careful with this thing. It's heavy. All right. Got that taken care of. So, what we'll do is we'll get that tank aquascaped. This is a little on brother-in-law James. I'm going to give him the time he needs to put the hardscape together how he wants. He's doing Cereus stone, as is obvious by the big main stone. And then once he's got the stone and stuff the way he wants it, we're going to talk a little bit about plants between him and I, but I'll be planting it. So we'll probably have a video kind of showing the hardscape and the planting and all that kind of stuff, getting it set up, and then we'll let it run for a little while. This is going to use the FX2, so you'll get to see the FX2 in action. We kind of want a little extra flow, but we're going to disperse it with the spray bar so it's not too much for the angelfish. So they have some places to get a little chill spot, but then some places with flow. Angels like flow, they'll be okay, and it won't be too crazy, but that's going to be that tank. And then once it's all ready, it's gone through its cycle, plants have kind of settled in, we'll move everything but that pair into that tank. And I probably keep some autosynchronous in their tank, but nothing that I would fear will attack the eggs. And then what we'll do is the angelfish tank up top, we'll do a minor rescape to it. We're going to keep a lot of the crypts that are in there. As you can see, they're doing really well. We just probably need to potentially change out the filter, or maybe just leave the filter as is and make some other small alterations. But then also put in things like a breeding cone or some kind of breeding slate to give them a really good surface to lay eggs on and protect and all those kind of things. But it'll be a really minimalistic tank that is kind of a pretty version of a breeding tank. Okay, finally, we'll talk about the tank behind me. This thing. Yeah. I did some cleaning in it. It's got a little soil in it, and you can notice in the background This is a fancy boy tank. Now, I don't have the lights on it quite yet, but it does have an ADA light screen. This is a water box. It's about 50 gallons. It's on a nice stand. It's going to be powered by an Awaze Biomaster 600. It's actually a Biomaster Thermo. It's right down there. I got to get it in the cabinet. It's going to have nice stainless steel piping. It'll have CO2. This is going to be kitted to the nines. And it's either going to have two Kessel Tuna Sun A160s, or it'll have a UNS Titan. These are lights that I have, and I've been saving for kind of a more special tank. I think this is going to be the one where my wife is going to do the hardscape, and then I'm going to do the planting, and this is going to be a rainbow fish kind of island theme tank. I think she wants the Kessels, so I just need to go ahead and find some of their cabling so that I can get them set up on this tank. But this is going to be a very nice tank. The goal is to make it an upgraded aquascape. So most of the aquascaping will be relatively simple. It won't be difficult. It'll be something that you all could do yourselves. And the plants are all going to be relatively easy as well. She loves Java Fern, and she wants Java Fern to be the focus of this tank. So you're going to have this like rocky island with Java Fern coming all out of it. Should be really awesome. Looking forward to doing this one quite a lot. But we're going to do it in a very nice tank. I got this off of a local club member who was changing from this meager, simple setup to a big, like, ADA, one of the big mega tanks. And he's got, like, 2 super jets and all sorts of stuff. I will actually, here's a little video of that tank. It's already set up and planted and everything. It is gorgeous. Look at this thing. Oh, yeah. It's got rainbow fish in there. He's got beautiful plants, wonderful carpet, CO2 injection using the ADA reactor. I mean, this is a top-of-the-line, beautiful tank. And he was saying he was getting newly married, and he didn't want to scare his new wife by having multiple tanks. He thought he would start with only one really nice tank in his house. So he sold this setup to me for a crazy low price. I have to say thank you to him. It's an opportunity to do something really cool, to have a nice rimless tank in my fish room and go crazy with it. So that's that. So we've got 3 total project tanks, some trims and stuff that need to happen in some of the other tanks in this room, and then we'll do a full fish room tour throughout this room. Yeah, that's basically it. I want to do this kind of short and easy, some basic B-roll. So what you'll have is you'll have Fallen Forest. Below that will be the undergravel filter system, which, speaking of, we're going to be setting that up, hear that noise? With some of this underneath the filter gravel plates. So this is just the Eheim BioStrat media, the like small ball media. And what we're going to do is use some iron supplementation in the substrate. We're going to be using Safety Zorb in this tank, and we're going to be using the air power fairly low. For those of you who are doing the mental math, yes, that means we're setting up an Anoxic system. But here's the catch. No plants. We're going to test an Anoxic system with no fish, very, very measured and controlled amounts of ammonia using ammonium chloride. And what we're going to do is see how well it can do what we believe Anoxic is supposed to do, which is to naturally denitrify without any plants present in the tank. Now, I'm sure someone will poke holes in the experiment or whatever, but I'm basically going to follow a obvious video set up online from Kevin Novak, just substituting the kitty litter for the Safety Zorb. It's a personal choice. I like the way it looks, but he's even done Anoxic plenum-style tanks with just basic gravel and not anything that is hyper-absorbent. So what we'll do is an absorbent charged. We're going to charge it first, because otherwise it's just going to strip everything out of the water, and it might mess with our numbers, but it will still have that good cation exchange capacity, right, that CEC, so that it can pull things in and out of the substrate, which is what we want with an Anoxic system. We're going to have iron supplementation down there to help feed the Anoxic bacteria, and normally he would do this with something like red fluorite, or in our case, we're going to use the Brightwell iron powder, which is something that he's used in one of his tanks, in order to get the necessary iron supplementation in the substrate that's necessary to feed that bacteria. And we're going to do a couple months worth of experimentation in order to see what we see. Just what results do we get? This isn't like I'm intentionally trying to screw it. I just want to see what we see, right? We're gonna be doing testing. We'll publish all that testing data, make it obvious in videos, all that good stuff, right? So we'll watch for nitrate, nitrite, and ammonia. And in theory, what we'll do is we'll see bacteria build up. We'll see some level of nitrate eventually get produced. And then what we should see as we continue to slowly dose and keep that food source, that ammonium chloride, alive for the bacteria, is that if the anoxic system builds up correctly, we should see the nitrates slowly go up. And then as that bacteria colony gets to where it is useful, start to taper back down. We won't be doing any big water changes. We're just going to top off. The other thing is it won't be heated. It's just going to be at ambient room temperature, which should keep the water about 72 to 74 degrees based on how the temperatures are in this room right about now. But that should give us some reasonable results and let us see what goes on in an anoxic system with no plants whatsoever, where we're just relying on the bacteria to do the work, and we're using a very measured level of addition of waste and not relying on, say, just fish. And then after that experiment is done, we'll plant that tank up and we'll move on to some special fish species we're going to put in there. I won't tell you yet, but trust me, it'll be fun. So that's it. We got 3 projects. We got an anoxic filter setup. We got this beautiful rimless water box that we're going to turn into a lovely island aquascape with some rainbow fish in it. We're going to have both the angel tanks getting some updates. One turning into an aquascape by brother-in-law James with this Mondo thing in it, and the FX2. And then we'll clean up the regular angel tank and try to get those angelfish, those Leopoldi wild-caught angels, to breed and have their own successful babies in that tank. That's it, gang. That's a little update, kind of micro fish room with some B-roll to help you see things and look at stuff. But yeah, should be really fun. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you most interested to see? Are you most interested in my anoxic experiment? You just really want to see the aquascapes, the kind of pseudo-competition between brother-in-law James and my wife? It's just for fun. It's not an actual competition. I just want them both to be able to have a nice size tank to aquascape with some help from me, and then let them kind of pick certain things. So in the case of my wife, she gets to pick the style, the stone, and the main planting. And then in the case of brother-in-law James, he's got the stone, and some of the planting. We'll work with him on that to see what he wants. And then he's picking the fish as well, because he specifically wanted to do something to help the angelfish have a successful spawn. So I feel that's kind of cool. There's some other really awesome updates that I have for you guys that are going to be coming when we do the full fish room tour. So look forward to that. But in the comments down below, let me know. What are you looking forward to most? What are you least interested in? Am I totally wasting this beautiful tank? You tell me. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a little thumbs up. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. And stay awesome. This thing's really freaking sweet. Oh, man. I can't wait to see this thing done. It's so fancy.